Uh, Thanks to Prabhuji, Sri Gaur Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity to speak. I'm not very good in English, but as Srimad Bhagavatam says that if you talk about Krishna, then even if it's in broken language, it will work. And other way, if one is very fluent in everything and if he speaks all kinds of nonsense, that is worst, right? So, so I will try to speak whatever I have learned and practiced. You might have heard of this three-gate analogy, given by Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. So I practice this personally in my Japa. So I just wanted to share that experience. So just like in Sri Rangam temple, there are three gates, the main gate, then in between, and then final gate. So if all three gates are open, then we can have darshan of the Lord. Similarly, we have also three gates to approach chanting. So first is body, then mind, and then heart. So if we open these three gates, then we can have actual meeting with Radha and Krishna. So let's have a small prayer first. So very brief so that we can utilize time, otherwise it will be a very short time. Om Agyanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Salakya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaur Vani Pracharine Nirvisesh Sunyavadi Paschat Pratistarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Cha Paditanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo Hare Krishna. So these three gates are body, mind, and heart. So first of all, body. It is grossest, but it's also important to open this gate. Until this first gate will open, we can't enter inside. So there was once one sadhu was there, and to him a person used to visit. That person was in depression. Why he was in depression? Because his body posture was always slump, and he always kneeled down and very lazy posture. So sadhu used to say, no, you should be very much attentive, you should be very much alert, very energetic. This person was not taking that word seriously. He was thinking, what is important of these things, sitting straight or walking straight. So next day when this person came, sadhu was sitting, in lazy posture. This person said, no, now you are sitting in this posture. Sadhu was saying, I was sitting in this posture and I found it works. It works. It makes people lazy. In my chanting myself, if I'm sitting alert, mind is very focused. Like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, in 6th chapter, what is the posture of yoga? One should sit straight, neck erect, sit tall, sit tall. Then it works. Mind becomes focused. So this is also very important to open the first gate. So for this, one should sit very straight, sit tall. And that is the first thing we can do in our chanting to increase our concentration. And for the conditioned soul like us, this mind and body, both are intertwined. It's like, like a rope. If mind is distracted, bodily posture become dull. And if we are straight body, if we make our body alert, then mind also become alert. So both are kind of supporting or creating problem for each other. So it's important to sit properly in the chanting. And so sometimes devotees also walk while chanting, through and fro. Swami Srila Prabhupada also walked. That is allowed in case of if one is very tired and mind is very much kind of opposing the chanting. In that case, one can walk a little bit. But actual chanting happens when one sits properly. Pacing back and fro is allowed only when one is very much tired. In that case only. Because this chanting is a meditation. And no meditation happens by walking, talking. Meditation happens when one sits properly. But Srila Prabhupada has allowed this thing just to make us chant at least. At least we walk and chant, complete our rounds. So this is the first thing in body posture. Sit straight, sit tall. Second thing is this body is that pronunciation. Pronunciation is very important. Just like we are here talking, if I speak few words or few sentences which you cannot understand, which you can't hear, then immediately there is disconnection. You will feel bored. Oh, what is happening here? So similarly, if we chant, or if we don't clearly pronounce, if we can't understand what we are speaking, then after some time, connection will break. We stop hearing. So it's important to pronounce very clearly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Very clear. Our pace may be slow, but it's important to at least pronounce the complete mantra, not the truncated mantra. Sometimes Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Sometimes Hare Hare is missed. Sometimes my also Hare Hare is missed. Many devotees has pointed out you eat Hare Hare. So I slowed down my pace. So to hear this Hare Hare, So pronunciation is very important in this case. Somebody may say, just like in Srimad Bhagavatam comes, one person, he was pronouncing mantras, but that mantra was not properly pronounced, then there was opposite result. There is opposite result. Might have heard this past time. The opposite result was obtained. So somebody may say, okay, that was Karma Kanda mantra. Karma Kanda mantra. Yes, Karma Kanda mantra will definitely give opposite result. Krishna is not cruel. He will not give us opposite result, because he is like a father who understands the broken language of his child. But how long we will remain a child? We should grow up, because if we give attention to our chanting and these things, it shows that we are really we really want to make our relationship with Krishna, because attention to detail is the sign of love. So if we are attentive in chanting, especially pronunciation, means we are trying to make relationship with Krishna. We are really you can say looking forward and sincerely want relationship with Krishna. That's why we are pronouncing clearly. And then after pronouncing properly, comes next stage, to hear attentively. Hear attentively. So Srila Prabhupada, again and again, Srila Prabhupada instructed us to hear ourselves chant the mantra. At first, this may seem like a yogic concentration technique, but actually it is an act of devotion to give all one's attention to Krishna in the form of his holy name. After proper pronunciation, we must also listen carefully to the utterance of the holy name again and again. So, hearing, until unless the sound vibration reaches the ears, it's not going to work. Not going to work. Because until Krishna goes in the heart, he works there, he cleanses our heart. It's not possible to be purified. So how we can let enter the Krishna in the heart? By being very attentive what we are chanting and focusing on the hearing. Srila Prabhupada many times said that just hear. Why you are so much thinking about the mind? Just hear, chant and hear. So hearing is the most important in all these three things: posture, pronunciation, and listen. So these three things, if we do, then we have opened the gate of the body. In first level we have crossed. Coming to the next, aligning the mind. So our mind is having two wings. Everybody knows, no? Past and future. It flies on these things. What we have done wrong in past, what somebody spoke to us, what had happened. We think about these things. Or in future, what is going to happen, how I should do this thing. Maybe planning part of our whole day planning is going on in chanting. So past and future, these are two wings of the mind on which it flies. So mind, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says that how to capture the mind. Forget the past that sleeps and near the future dream at all, but act in time that are with thee and progress thee shall call. Means be in the now, because in reality, real true life happens in the present moment. So you don't have control either on the past or in future. Whatever you can do right now. Right now we can do whatever we want. Neither we can go in past and correct things, nor we can go in future to make our present better. We can do in present things to make our future better. So similarly, in chanting also, I find this thing very effective. When my mind reels and goes here and there, immediately this one line, hear the current mantra. This I have heard from His Grace Bhurjan Prabhu. Hear the current mantra, what you are chanting. Don't think of, I will chant next mantra very nicely. This is also a future planning. I will chant next mantra very nicely. Or, oh, last mantra was such a worst mantra. This is a past thing. Present means now what I'm chanting, I'm going to chant very nicely. I have to hear just this current mantra. So bhakti happens in the present. Sachinda Maharaj says, bhakti happens in the present, not in future, not in past. So we have chance to meet Krishna right now, right then now, because Hare Krishna Mahamandra is not different from Krishna. So we are chanting, so immediately at that point of time we should try to hear, not planning for future, nor the past I've heard or not heard mantra. Right? So this is very important to be in the present. And also when we are chanting, it's kind of, if suppose some guest has come or somebody want to talk to you and you are receiving multiple calls. Somebody called and you are talking, the person is standing next to you and we are talking, okay, and immediately put the phone, another call came, okay, talking. What the next person will think? I am of least importance to him. He will, there is disconnection, he will feel disappointed, he will go away. Similarly, while chanting, what happens? Mind gives many ideas, we entertain those ideas, and Krishna thinks this person is calling me, I am coming and standing in front, and he's not giving any attention to me. Then Krishna will go away. So it's very difficult to communicate to some person who is already busy on multiple calls. So we need to discard all these thoughts while chanting, and that happens by this thing that I have to hear the current mantra. I have to hear this current mantra. And we can achieve target only when we are focused on one thing. While chanting, chant while you chant. Play while you play. Eat while you eat. Doing one thing at a time is very powerful. Very powerful. Like the lens. If we focus the lens on the paper, it burns. But if we move the lens, the paper will remain as it is. So like Dronacharya, he asked Arjuna, what do you see in the tree? He said, I only see the eye of the bird. Duryodhana was saying, I am seeing you, spiritual master Dronacharya, I also see you. Whole things. He was impressing Dronacharya, I am also seeing you. But Dronacharya said, Arjuna, you are focused. You are focused. You can achieve the target. Similarly, in chanting, if you are focused, I have to simply please Radha and Krishna, and this is the meaning of the prayer. Oh Krishna, oh Radharani, please engage me in your service. That way we can achieve this mind's focus. We are focused on the mantrarth chintan. It's called mantra artha chintan. Thinking about the meaning of the mantra, what I'm chanting, what I'm calling for. Just Hare. Hare means I'm calling Srimati Radharani. If we call someone, what we do? We ask something. It doesn't mean that I call someone and I am just sitting. No, no. If I call someone, I will request some favor. For some reason I have called. So if you're calling Radharani, if you're calling Krishna, so we are asking for service. So if we are conscious about this mantra's meaning, mantra arth chintan, then we can really concentrate. And also sometimes people say that Prabhupada said, just chant and hear. Why have to do mantra arth chintan, these things? So what I found it, Srila was also said that our chanting should be like a baby crying for the mother. And that time Prabhupada said this. Means chant and hear is a external design, and within this design there is a substance, and that is a baby crying for the mother. This feeling should be there inside. Otherwise, it's mechanical chanting. The difference between mechanical chanting and devotional chanting is that prayer is added in the mechanical chanting, then it becomes devotional and spiritual chanting. So aligning the mind, we have to first relinquish the thoughts of past and future and focus on the mantra we are uttering, we are pronouncing right now. And second part, focusing on this means opening the gate of mind, we have to bring the mind back to the holy name again and again. Mind will go, mind will wander on the wings of past and future, it will wander. But we have to bring it back again to Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. You have to again and again bring the mind back to the holy name. This effort we have to do. Krishna is also saying in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is saying that mind is difficult to control. Krishna is saying, Abhyasya to Kanteya. We have to practice it. Mind will go, bring it back to the holy name, bring it back to the holy name, bring it back to the holy name. Again and again, we have to do this thing. So in this way, by relinquishing the thoughts of future and past and bringing the mind back again and again to the holy name, will open the gate of mind. Now two gates are open. Body gate is open now. Mind gate is open now. Now we are moving towards the last gate, that is heart gate. Heart gate. So we have to first of all open this gate. We have to first of all understand that whatever we are seeking in this world, some people are kind of having wrong desires, bad desires. Okay, that is also a desire. Some people have positive desires. That's also there. And below this, or you can say the source of all these desires, is our longing for Krishna. So our heart has three you can say levels. One is physical heart, which pumps the blood, physical heart. There is emotional heart. It wants protection, shelter, love, care, appreciation. Emotional heart wants these things. And our devotional heart, it wants only one thing: reciprocation, loving relationship with Krishna. This is the desire and need of the spiritual heart. So we have to realize this thing. So here Sachinda Maharaj writes that we'll find under the surface, but if we churn all these desires to their core, what kind of desire? What we want in this material world, money, fame, adoration, prestige, whatever we want in this world. If we go deeper, we will find under the surface is the need for love, shelter, stability, appreciation, comfort, safety. Right? Sometimes people show enviousness, lusty desires, greed. Below this, there is these things: need of love, shelter, stability. And if you go a little deeper, Maharaj writes, And underneath these is our true need for Krishna. Therefore, we connect to our devotional heart when we understand, Krishna, I only really want you. Only with you will I truly be happy. So if we realize this thing, that with Krishna only I can be happy, then all other things will kind of fade away, because ultimately they are not going to make me happy. This realization will come when we, while chanting, will we pray, like in Shichashkam it also comes, Sunyayitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virehadme. If Krishna is not there, everything is Sunya, zero, no meaning. So if we have this prayerful heart and this understanding that Krishna is only my object of love, nothing will work for me except Krishna, then this gate is going to open, this realization. Only a vibrant devotion relationship can impress the Lord to exchange with us and answer our longing. Reaching out to Krishna with feeling will flip the switch to the dynamic life we envision in bhakti, and thus our three hearts are satisfied. When we switch on this button, means having a feeling and prayers that Krishna is only my object of love, then this heart gate will also open. It is from this deepest place within our spiritual heart that we should chant in Japa or Kirtana with everything we have got, begging the divine couple for service. In this way, we can sincerely turn to their lordships and address them with devotion. So devotional feeling is when it is added, then chanting will have, our chanting will be on the next level, immediately on the next level. This I have learned from Maharaja's seminar, these three things. When I sit for chanting, so I just recall these three steps. Align the body, means sit straight, then pronounce clearly, and then hear attentively. This is the first part. Then mind section, discard the past and future, and be in the present. And then in the mind section also, here, bring back the mind from the wanderings. And then in the heart section, we have to first of all realize and contemplate how Krishna is my only shelter. Through different pastimes, through some incidents in our life, how Krishna reciprocated. If we remember these things just before the chanting, then we can immediately get a connection. Why I'm chanting? Why I'm chanting? Like Mahatma Prabhu says, a winner wins the race before going into the arena. Means before sitting for chanting, we have to convince our mind, we have to win over the mind. Otherwise, if we are not prepared before chanting, then what will happen? We are surely going to be distracted because we have not convinced the mind that I can chant sincerely. Right? That's why sometimes Mahatma Prabhu also gives affirmations. You can read few affirmations before chanting. It may look like something material, but I was thinking on this, why affirmation is needed, because different experiences in our life in chanting makes our mind and intelligence convinced that chanting is very difficult. You can't chant properly. So this mind and intelligence, through different inputs, had been convinced that chanting is very difficult. You can't chant properly. But these affirmations, now this affirmation will make our mind and intelligence strong that you can chant. So what kind of affirmations are there? That kind of feelings will arise in our heart. So affirmation also works in chanting. And also, what kind of prayer we can do while chanting? Actually, Rupa Goswami also says, just as young men desire young ladies and young ladies desire young men, My dear Lord, may my mind be attracted to you. These are kind of strengthening our heart, opening the heart's gate. Means we can have our own prayers, which we find very relevant, very connecting to the feelings with Krishna. I find these few prayers like in Vritrasur prayer, Ajat Pacha Iva Mataram Khaga, Istannim Matha, Vasatara Sudhartha, Priyam Priyeva Vishtam Vishannam, Manorvindach Didich something like that. Means just like a small bird, small birds, they're waiting for mother bird. Calf is waiting for mother cow for milk. A wife is waiting for her husband who is living a distant place. Oh my God, let me also long for you. These kinds of prayers, and they give us strength, they give us feelings to chant properly. We can have many prayers like these to open our heart gate. And then if we follow that path, Krishna will immediately become attentive. Oh, here is someone calling out to me. I must adopt him under my care. He is now mine. So when we call out Krishna with devotional heart, then Krishna immediately thinks, this person, he is really longing for me. Then only Krishna will come. Mechanical chanting may produce some effect, some cleaning in the heart. But if we go deeper, then only we can relish chanting and it will definitely please Krishna. So in heart section, first of all, we have to become conscious of our need for Krishna. In heart section, there are few points. First, that we have to be conscious of our need for Krishna. Means you have to analyze how this world and things and people, they are not going to satisfy my need for which I'm craving. We have to first become conscious of need of Krishna, and then we have to revive our spiritual heart by reaching out to Krishna in our chanting. So spiritual heart is now sleeping, right? But if we have these prayers, it will immediately awaken and awake our spiritual heart, and then beg for mercy and specifically for service and shelter. Then this heart gate is open now. So a crucial help is aligning the body, mind, and heart is not to interrupt your chanting. So one also tool is there. We don't interrupt our chanting in between. We keep on interrupting, just like receiving the multiple phone calls while being in meeting with Krishna. Then we can't have these feelings, and what we discussed today. It's very difficult to do when we interrupt our chanting in between from our own side. Maybe smartphone, maybe we are doing chanting some distracted place. So we have to stop multitasking in Japa. Then we can have some times to go deeper into chanting. Therefore, stay with the holy name without spoiling the flow. At the very least, finish each round before you tend to do other things. Don't let the mind steal away our opportunity for spiritual transformation. We should not give opportunity to the mind to steal our opportunity for spiritual transformation. So doing these things, opening the body gate, mind gate, and heart gate. Now we have to wait for Krishna's reciprocation, because Krishna reveals himself. We have put our part, right? So we can't force Krishna to appear, but Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "Ye yathamam prapadyante." If you come towards me, I will also come towards you. So we can't force, but definitely we can move towards Krishna. So Krishna reciprocates. If we are putting effort on in these three sections, means we are showing Krishna that I am really interested in you, not by words, but by action. Okay, I will stop here. Prabhuji has given me time till 7:50. So anybody has any questions, so you can take.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for taking us through these important things. These are actually, things which are in our control, body, mind, and then heart. And if we focus on these points, before, as you said, before you start your chanting, this will significantly and substantially improve our quality, make us more attentive. Yeah. So thank you very much. So do you want to open the floor if anyone has any comment or question? You can also drop on the chat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam.
Hello, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, just like these days we have a smartwatch to know that this time we have deeper sleep. So is there any way we can know like this particular time of chanting we move to the deeper chanting time? Is there any way?
Chanting is something spiritual activity, and what I understand, going deeper in chanting is a spiritual connection with Krishna. I have gone deeper into chanting means I have a strong relationship with Krishna, which is a spiritual relationship. And anything spiritual can't be measured by something material. So that is measured only by you and Krishna. If you go deeper in chanting, you will yourself release it, and Krishna is pleased with you, you will also feel releasement. So there is nothing material Prabhu to measure as per my knowledge. Prabhuji can better suggest, he's more experienced. What is my understanding? Relationship is spiritual, chanting is a spiritual activity, and it's difficult to measure it on material plane. Prabhuji, anything you want to say?
No, Prabhuji, no, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. One question in the chat. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Are we referring here heart with soul, Prabhuji? Okay. Heart is soul. Heart is here, is a seat of emotion, especially it is more connected to soul. Definitely, Mataji said, na? The emotional heart is connected to mind, and the heart we are talking about having relationship with Krishna is of the soul. It's relationship with the soul. It's not something physical. So you understood rightly. It is related to soul only, Mataji. The emotion which soul has for Krishna, that is spiritual heart. You mentioned about some affirmations to be done prior to starting chanting. Can you please share any examples, or do we have any standard sets of affirmations provided by any acharyas? Okay. Affirmations I have got from Mahatma Prabhuji, like I love chanting. For example, this affirmation, I love chanting. You sit before chanting. Before chanting, you just say, I love chanting. Because the situation and people have somehow or other convinced us chanting is very difficult, chanting is boring. But if we read affirmation, chanting is, I love chanting, I like chanting. You will find you will chant nicely. It will work at least for some time until we get again distracted. So these affirmation, there are many. Let me recall a few more. Chant while you chant. So as soon as you will see this affirmation, what will happen? If your mind is wandering, you will come back. Okay, chant while chant. Okay, let's chant. So these things helps, because while chanting, sometimes our mind is lost and we are kind of out of control. When something is written in front of us, then immediately if we see, okay, then we immediately apply those things. So affirmation also helps. Mahatma Prabhu is having a lot of affirmation. He has even a book of affirmations. Yes. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Any other question or comment before we end the session? Okay, I don't see any. Then we'll end the session. Thank you very much, Veda Chaitanya Prabhuji, for taking out your time at last minute request. Really appreciate.
Thank you, Rohit. So I just request every participant, please do pray for me, because I am also a sadhaka and struggling in chanting. But I am whatever technique I am applying, so I just wanted to share with all of you. So please do pray for me, and that is the only hope, Vaishnava's prayers. So really, I'm feeling blessed to kind of share my knowledge. So let's have Vaishnava Pranam mantra for each other. Vancha Anand Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
His Grace Veda Chaitanya Prabhuji ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dhanavad Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.